Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the little bell notification to the right.
On November 18th, in New London, Connecticut, a 46-year-old was visiting family when a devastating fire started. When firefighters arrived, they found a man locked inside a storage area at the back of the home. Dispatch radio could be heard saying, "The man is barricaded inside and he is not answering the door. Everyone else is outside the house. They're trying to get him to open up." But minutes later, first responders radioed that the person inside was indeed trapped. "We got a report of a person trapped. Make sure our paramedics are responding." Firefighters forced entry, removed the victim, and started CPR. The victim was suffering from burns and smoke inhalation and was flown to the Connecticut Burn Center in Bridgeport, Connecticut. They tried everything, but they could not save this man. Nine days later, this young man passed away due to smoke inhalation. Now, who was this young man? This man was none other than tech entrepreneur, billionaire, and founder of Zappos, Tony Hsieh. On November 27th, 2020, the world lost a visionary and friend who tried to always deliver happiness to the people around him. There was a shroud of mystery about his death, as he was the only one in the house party who was trapped, and everyone else managed to escape outside safely. So, was Hsieh barricaded or locked inside? And why was the fire contained to where Hsieh was found? Some of these questions are yet to be answered, but what we do know is that the world lost a fantastic entrepreneur, and people from Jeff Bezos, Bill Clinton, legendary VC Alfred Lin, and founder of Zoom Eric Yuan all mourn in his passing. Those closest to Tony said that his behavior over the past year was strange and unusual, and that he started distancing himself from some of his closest friends. So, what led to the fall of such a visionary billionaire entrepreneur who seemed to have everything going for him? Was it an accident? Was it fate? Or was it something more? Before we begin, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified anytime we have a new video. Let's first start off by talking about the life story of Tony Hsieh. Tony Hsieh was born in Illinois on December 12, 1973 to Richard and Judy Hsieh, who moved from Taiwan. He grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area of California. Tony's childhood was a little disturbing. He always had a rebellious nature in his life. He was never close to his parents and went against their will, as they wanted him to become a lawyer or a doctor. While he wasn't 100% sure what he wanted to do yet, he knew that he did not want to follow the traditional path. In 1995, he graduated from Harvard University with a degree in computer science. He also managed the Quincy House Grille and sold pizza to the students as an entrepreneurial venture, securing the rights to sell pizzas in his dorm. After graduating from Harvard with a degree in computer science, Tony found a job in Oracle. He thought he would love this job, as it was his dream to work for such a big company. But in reality, he struggled working there, as he didn't understand the company culture. He didn't resonate with the corporate culture, so he decided to quit his job. In 1998, he went to set up Link Exchange and advertising network along with his college friend and ex-Oracle employee Sanjay Madden. Hsieh enjoyed working with Link Exchange at the beginning because he hired his friends and other people who he knew. The environment was great and everyone got along, but later on the company started having problems and Hsieh was unable to actively manage others. Soon, Tony Hsieh wasn't happy with the company and found it difficult waking up early and going to the company. Therefore, Tony decided to sell his company to Microsoft for $265 million in November of 1998. If he stayed a year and a half more after the sale to Microsoft, he would have received his full payout, but he felt that time, which was finite, was more important than money. After the sale, Hsieh wanted to start an incubator and investment firm with his business partner and good friend, Alfred Lin. One of Hsieh's friends decided to invest in his company if he named it Venture Frogs. It was a dare. Tony agreed to this condition and became the co-founder of Venture Frogs. The company was not very successful and didn't make much money, but Tony was happy with the slow progress it was making. Venture Frogs funded several companies like Ask Jeeves, OpenTable, and Zappos. One day, Nick Swinmurn, the founder of Zappos, couldn't find a pair of brown shoes in the market, so the idea hit his mind to start selling shoes online. Nick met with Fred Mosler, a men's shoe buyer at Nordstrom, and asked him to join his startup. Fred wanted Nick to have more capital before he committed. That was when Nick met Tony Hsieh. Tony was impressed with the ideas, but didn't show much interest in Zappos as he thought, why would anyone buy shoes online? Until he realized that 5% of buyers were already doing it and the market size was $40 billion. After thinking for a while, in 1999, Hsieh invested in Zappos. He found out that he missed building something, thus he decided to join Zappos and became the CEO of the company. His business partner and good friend, Alfred Lin, decided to join him. Although growth started off slowly, things started picking up very quickly. Zappos wowed its customers with fast delivery and amazing customer service, along with a very generous return policy. In the year 2000, additional funding was given to Zappos. Revenue of $1.6 million was earned in the same year. Sales increased to $8.6 million the next year, and Zappos was skyrocketing. By 2004, Zappos made sales of $184 million growth. And Tony Hsieh learned lots of business lessons during his early years at Zappos. In early 2004, the biggest problem was customer service, specifically finding the right employees to staff the call centers. Zappos received thousands of phone calls and emails every day, and they viewed each one as an opportunity to build the Zappos brand. But finding good customer service reps in San Francisco was nearly impossible due to the high cost of living. This was one of the contributing factors to the eventual move to Las Vegas. You see, a year earlier, in late 2003, the company also looked at different options for expanding their call center. Initially, they considered outsourcing to India or Philippines and met with a few outsourcing companies. But Zappos was reluctant to outsource the call center due to different nuances of American culture. And outsourcing never worked very well. In Zappos' first few years, the company fulfilled orders with drop shipments. They didn't carry any inventory and relied on shoe manufacturers to ship products directly to customers. The system never worked well as they did not have 100% accurate information about the vendor's inventory, and because warehouses were all over the country, delivery times were not predictable. Thus, Zappos stopped drop shipping. They then outsourced the warehousing and shipping to a separate company in Kentucky, but that did not work well either. Trusting that a third party would care about Zappos' customers as much as they did was one of their biggest mistakes. Zappos also operated under a unique management style called Holacracy, which meant that all the employees were empowered to have more input in decision making. This was a system with flat work hierarchy that allowed employees to work without assigned roles and more flexibility. Seeing the company overcome these problems successfully, Sequoia Capital invested $35 million in the company. In 2007, the headquarters was moved to Henderson, Nevada. The gross sales increased to $840 million. Other items also started selling in Zappos' online business, which included handbags, eyewear, clothing, watches, and kids' merchandise. In 2008, the company hit $1 billion. The achievement was huge and was attained way sooner than expected. Finally, Zappos stood among the top 100 companies to work for at number 23. The huge success took place because of Hsieh's hard work and passion. But by early 2009, disagreements between Hsieh and other board members caused friction in the company, as investors wanted to maximize profits at the expense of Zappos' culture. Hsieh decided to partner with Amazon, as it would allow Zappos to assort further into apparel and accessories and help grow its brand. Amazon also promised to allow Zappos to continue to operate independently. The final deal was struck at $1.2 billion. After the deal was struck, Tony wrote a corporate culture book, an autobiography, Delivering Happiness, which has debuted at number 1 on the New York Times bestseller list in 2010. Hsieh was famous for his holacracy management style, and he also pioneered the concept of paying new unhappy employees $2,000 to quit, to weed out those who wouldn't be as committed to and passionate about their work at Zappos. While Tony Hsieh remained at the helm of Zappos, he wanted to contribute more to the community. He was widely credited for revitalizing the Las Vegas downtown through a side venture of $350 million of his own capital to jumpstart the area after the Great Recession. Hsieh wanted to transform downtown Las Vegas, historically a seedy area, into a connected community, a true hub for creative entrepreneurs to grow and share their ideas. The project had a grand vision and had some success, but never fully realized its potential. By 2013, signs of serious trouble started to brew. Startups were shutting down and outside investment wasn't coming in. Between the time span of 2013 to 2014, 3 of the most prominent entrepreneurs involved with Tony Hsieh's project committed suicide, sending the tight-knit community onto its edge. Many pointed to Hsieh's philosophy, his obsession with happiness, and with imposing it upon the community as one of the problems. Others said that the project had a lack of culture, lack of mission, and lack of core values. In 2013, Hsieh took another wrong decision. He announced that his online retailer would be getting rid of all the traditional managers' roles. He had no idea how much this decision would backfire on his business. He became a victim of criticism, and within years it got worse. In 2015, Hsieh asked his staff to get on board or take the severance and leave the company. 18% of his employees decided to leave the company. Hsieh decided that offering a severance package to employees was Zappos' policy to treat all the employees who were leaving the company fairly. but Hsieh was radicalized on media and named as a confused and complicated personality who did not have the power to make the right decision. Despite the criticism, he didn't back off and stayed strong on his decision to continue to a self-management system known as Holacracy. By August 2020, Tony Hsieh decided to retire from Zappos after almost 21 years, which was a mystery to everyone. He quietly stepped down from the online shoe retailer without a formal announcement. But trouble was brewing in the personal life of Tony Hsieh months before that. And while he was directly or indirectly delivering on his promise to deliver happiness to others and make others smile, he was privately coping with issues of mental health and addiction. Hsieh loved the non-stop action of life, and he was a heavy drinker and utilized drugs such as nitrous oxide. In addition, he had his own mental health battles, struggling with sleep and feelings of loneliness. Hsieh's closest friends also were beginning to distance themselves from him, as their definition of happiness had evolved over the years. Many of his friends got married and started families, while Hsieh remained an extremely eligible single bachelor, loving the party lifestyle. In the recent 9 months before his passing, he started a project in Park City, Utah, where he flew in new friends and contacts and created a community amidst the pandemic. He would nearly double his new friends' salaries if they would join him in Park City, Utah, where he was buying up millions of dollars worth of real estate. What were Tony Hsieh's intentions? Did Hsieh have similar intentions in Park City as he did for Las Vegas? Several Park City area residents expressed concerns over large parties at his house, which were drug-fueled parties. Famous musician and singer Jewel and one of Tony's friends shared her concerns about his health after she performed an acoustic set for him and some guests in Park City, Utah. Jewel warned him of his lifestyle before his death, and in a letter that said, "If the world could see how you are living, they would not see you as a tech visionary. They would see you as a drug-addicted man who is a cliche, and that's not how you should go down or be known. The people you are surrounding yourself with are either ignorant or willing to be complicit in you killing yourself. When you look around and realize every single person around you is on your payroll, then you are in trouble. You are in trouble, Tony." Three months later, Tony Hsieh died on November 27th at the age of 46 due to complications of smoke inhalation, and his death was ruled as an accident. Hsieh was fixated on trying to crack happiness, but his pursuits led him to associate with increasingly young yes men who enabled Hsieh as he withdrew from longtime friends. Tony had fostered so much human connection and happiness, but there was this void inside him. It was difficult for him to be alone. Was Tony Hsieh just another indirect victim of the pandemic in 2020? Did self-isolation and loneliness claim another brilliant entrepreneur? Did his new young friends lead him down a dark and dangerous path? While we might not know the full answers yet, we should celebrate the life of Tony Hsieh. From the early startups, all he wanted to do was to develop a fun work culture. His belief has made his companies grow to be highly successful. And despite all of his later struggles, Tony Hsieh was one of the first tech icons to humanize the workplace. Although many of us have never met him in person, his work has had a profound impact on us all. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Our channel focuses on inspirational and motivational stories that focus on holistic health, meditation, and daily 1% improvement. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Also, make sure that you check out Tony's book, Delivering Happiness, one of the greatest books on entrepreneurship of all time. The link is in the description below. So, how will you remember one of the greatest entrepreneurs of all time, Tony Hsieh? Drop a comment below with your thoughts, and we'll be sure to address it in our next video. Until then, see you next time.